Hello, Internet, and welcome to the SwirlyCast, the only audio show that can be enjoyed by humans and yokai alike, and is the subject of sheathing swords and holding shields, whatever that means. I am your host, Toma, having decided to spend a few minutes out of your day to come hang out with us, and with formalities out of the way, what is on the mind today? Pokémon Sword and Shield. Let's get this beast over and done with. A bit of a history lesson on the recording of this episode, by the way. So, I originally recorded this episode to release sometime in early November, and look where we are now. And I didn't exactly like that episode, so, hey, we're doing it again, so here we are. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of episodes today, so get ready. So, anywho. Pokémon Sword and Shield is a game that has recently got its first anniversary, and since it came out in 2019, I think it was this week when that game first turned 1 year old. Which, hey, for its first year of content, I think it did pretty well for itself. That said, there are things that I don't like about Pokémon Sword and Shield, and we're going to be getting into those. But first, let's talk about the things that I really do like, and it's quite a lot of things, so let's get into it, shall we? So let's talk about the game's story. It's an RPG, so it must have a good story, right? I mean, Persona is a series that I hold on a pedestal pretty much, and it has some of the best stories that I've ever seen in any video game. Is Pokemon Sword and Shield having a story similar to that of Persona 5? No. Not even close. But, that said, I think it still is the tried and true Pokemon formula, but, changed up a little bit so that it isn't as monotonous as it kind of got. But let's take these one step at a time, shall we? So start off in the opening town. Postwick is what it's called. They don't have Postwick town, they just have locations now. Since the region is based on Europe, hey, I think it works nicely. I think. I don't live in the UK, so it might just be a thing that I don't get. So any UK viewers, feel free to leave your comments and tell me if that's exactly how it goes. Because yeah, town stuff. I think it might be a reference to that. I'm not exactly too sure on that. So whatever. You're a Pokemon trainer. You get to customize your thing at the start of the game. Go ahead, go on your adventure. Meet your rival Hop. He's alright, I guess. Meet one of the coolest champions ever, Leon. Get your starter Pokemon. I chose Scorbunny. Don't at me. And you go on your Pokemon journey. Go catch them all. There's a Pokemon. Catch them. And all that other junk. Yeah, it's a Pokemon story. So it's not a hallmark of storytelling or anything like that. But one thing that I do like about Sword and Shield, that it makes it better than its other contemporaries in terms of its storytelling. Aside from Black and White and Black and White 2, there's just no beating out those two games. But I really like how the gym battles are treated like this whole grand sporting event. So you get your own jersey that you can customize with different numbers at the top. Guess which numbers that I used, and it's just treated like it's a sports team. And well, I'm not too big into sports. Hey, that's a nice little detail that I do like, and it's something that while it is something that is relatively minor, it helps to add a whole bunch of layers to what otherwise would have been just your standard gym challenges. It just again and again and again. You know what I mean? So, and another thing that I do like is the introduction of Dynamax Pokemon and how it's incorporated into gym battles. Because one thing that I really wish that Pokemon X and Y and Sun and Moon did was really make Mega Evolution into this big whole thing. Since most Pokemon did not have a Mega Evolution and only certain Pokemon did, it would have been really cool if each of the gym leaders' Pokemon got to have a Mega Evolution right after, their Pokemon were able to evolve at that point. So, Karina for Shalor City could have had Lucario by then, and then so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure there would have been a lot of Pokemon by at least Oraz that had Mega Evolutions that could have worked for every single gym leader, but, But the cool thing is, Dynamax works for every Pokemon except for the Title Legendaries and a special one that I'm not going to mention. And, yeah, it's just something that you can do. You could have, a not fully evolved Pokemon, just, Dynamax, and it's, really, really cool. Because, I did that with my reboot at the first time, and yeah, that was certainly something special. I really enjoyed that. Uh, Speaking of reboot, let us talk about the new Pokemon, because Pokemon Sword and Shield is one of the best new Pokemon rosters I have ever seen. And the cool thing about that is like another neat detail that I did. I used only Galarian Pokemon for my journey through Sword and Shield, and the weird thing about me is that I don't usually use a full team of the Pokemon found in that gen if it's possible, because usually I just find Pokemon that I can use more often than I do new Pokemon. But in Sword and Shield, I made an effort to go through Galarian Pokemon, and I really fell in love with these guys. My final team ended up being Cinderace, Corviknight, Colossal, Dreadnought, Hatterene, and Boltund. And I think these guys were definitely had some of the best personality, and they are definitely my favorite Pokemon of this generation. And yeah, it's just something really awesome, and I really got to fall in love with Pokemon again, because for the longest time, I haven't been feeling like Pokemon has been really gripping me in terms of their new stuff. I actually did not finish Ultra Sun and Moon. I know, I'm proclaiming myself to be a Pokemon fan, but I never finished that game. I heard it's really good for shiny hunting, though, so hey, that's pretty fun. Until this game happened, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But speaking of things that we're going to be getting into, let's talk about the DLC now, because that I brought it up. It definitely was a smart move on Game Freak's part to increase the longevity of Sword and Shield, just to not have it be overshadowed by the next game, because Sun and Moon did not have a whole lot of time to breathe. Neither did Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, so But though, to be fair, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were spin-offs, but Ultra Sun and Moon, it had no chance, unfortunately. And yeah, as much as I don't kind of like the game, I feel like it deserves a different chance. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, DLC, Isle of Armor, Crown Tundra. These two things are definitely the things that make Sword and Shield definitely a whole lot better than it would honestly seem at first glance. Because it's new content, it's brand new stuff, it's two brand new stories that I feel work well with Pokemon, and the art about like facing off against an evil team. They're not against with the whole league situation. They're completely own things, and it's awesome. The Isle of Armor sets you out to become the best of the Masters Dojo, and training a little Kung Fu along the way, and to evolve into an Urshifu. While I didn't exactly fall in love with the concept like right off the bat, I did eventually come around to Isle of Armor, and I did eventually enjoy it enough that I did want to finish it. So it definitely is not the best thing, at least in my humble opinion, because battling is not something that I do very often. I like doing it, but it's just something that I am not too particularly fond of when it comes to NPC battles, unless it's like my boy Leon. But Crown Tundra, though, that's when I feel like this game really shines when it comes to its DLC. Crown Tundra has a lot of good content spruced within it. Like, you got almost every single legendary Pokemon back, and I think, aside for like a couple mythical Pokemon, like Arceus, Genesect, Aloetta, you can basically capture every single legendary Pokemon that has been in a game. Granted, some of those are version exclusives, like Dialga will only be able to find in Sword, Palkia and Shield, so on and so forth, just for the sake of example. But yeah, it's just I definitely don't mind that too much, because you could connect with other games and you could still catch the Pokemon even if you're playing an opposite version. So like, if I was playing with a friend who owned Sword, I could go get Ho. So hey, it's just something really nice. I definitely appreciate that feature, and I'm glad they didn't omit that. So that's just something. It's nice for Dynamax Adventures. That's what that thing is called, by the way. And as well for the other content, I definitely feel like Crown Hunter's story has a lot more things spruced into it. Like, I love Peony as a character. I think he's really charming, and it's just his theme really slaps too. But we'll get to the music in just a second. But yeah, I definitely like the whole legend theme going on around here. You get the Reggie trio back and two brand new Reggie forms. I chose Regieleki so I could team up with another person, and yeah, Regieleki is the fastest Pokemon ever. and he's electric type. I've been using paralysis to, keep making so that I can catch it better. Imagine the pain and suffering I had to go through that night. But, it just goes to show, like, hey, I'm dedicated enough that I am interested in what's going to be happening, that I want to continue this. I want to go through the tired process because, the reward at the end of the tunnel is something that I really, really enjoy. And that's exactly how I feel about Pokemon Sword and Shield as a whole. I do definitely get that there's some things that aren't exactly all that great. The graphics aren't that great, especially for considering that it is the Pokemon's second game in HD, and it's been in development longer than Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. It's bad that game looks better in some cases and more than others. And there's no national dex, which I'm pretty sure you heard about that complaint if you've ever been on Twitter for more than 5 seconds. And yeah, it's just been yeah. Those are really the only things that I don't really like about Sword and Shield, though. As it stands, like, yeah, I would definitely consider Sword and Shield overall to be one of my favorite Pokemon games. Like, I'm not gonna say that it's better than Platinum or Black and White 2 because or X and Y for that matter, because I definitely feel like those games were my favorites out of all the Pokemon games. But I would definitely rank Sword and Shield as in the top 5 because it's really nice. And yeah, that's just sort of my thoughts on Pokemon Sword and Shield. I definitely appreciate this a lot, and I felt like I came off a lot more positive than I did in the previous recording. So, A plus for me. And with that, I think that's all the time we have left for today. This episode went on for longer than I expected it to, but hey, we're here, we're having fun. Pokemon Sword and Shield are great games. Don't let the naysayers tell you what they got. If you're okay with dealing with a lack of national decks and, subpar graphics, like, yeah, Sword and Shield, obviously, they're great games. I definitely recommend them. But with that, this has been Kama, and ladies and gents and bees we don't exclude on this channel, thank you for tuning into this episode of the SwirlyCast. Until next time, bye bye! Da, 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 da. The music is so good!